Hey gamers, what's up? Okay, so the first thing you'll notice about this video is that I'm not shooting it in the store. I've recently just finished putting together my, you'll call it a game room, a man cave, whatever. It's a little small to call a man cave, so it's more of a man nook. But I spent the last couple months putting this together, and I kind of wanted to share with you what I've done. So bit by bit, as I've been putting it together, I've been shooting videos. Kind of a, maybe not a DIY, but a helpful guide if it's something you want to do. What I had here was just the smallest room in the house. It's the kind of room that you would give like your smallest kid, or if you didn't have a kid, you'd say you'd turn it into a den or whatever. And I wanted someplace cool to play games, to display a few things, and I wanted to do as much as I could in this small area. So I built the shelves, I hung the lighting, blah 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 blah, and I wanted to share with you how you could do it and how inexpensive it is when you do it. So maybe it'll give you some ideas and give you a chance to do the same thing in your house, or maybe even with your bedroom, or whatever you want to do depending who you are and how you display your games. So without further ado, we'll start at the beginning and enjoy. Hey gamers, what's up? Okay, so here we are. We're getting ready to start making the shelves for my game room. I'm doing just some 6-inch pine. This is the cheapest stuff you can get at Lowe's, and I'm going to primer it. I'm going to paint it with a coat of gloss black, and they should look really sharp when they're done. You just look for the straightest boards. Sometimes they're pretty wonky, but if you ever do it yourself, you'll see you can get them, and you can kind of bend them into shape when you screw them together. But I'm going too far with all that description stuff. Over here is the rest of the wood. We've made all the measurements, and we're going to make all the cuts today, and we're going to screw them all together today, and there's some more down here. Get all that. Those are for my 80-inch shelves, because we got the 120-inch boards, and they'll measure 80 inches tall for the shelf itself. So we're going to make all these cuts today, and we'll probably screw them all together today. I may not paint them today, but it'll be a good start on the room. And then we'll actually, after everything's set up and ready to go, we're going to drill every 5 inches 2 holes all the way down, and then we're just going to use dowels, and we're going to slide them through to rest the shelves on. So it should work out really nicely. So I'm going to get to work, and I will see you all soon, unless I knock that over. And here it is. That's the shelves before they're put together, all cut. That wood, now all that extra wood, that's going to become shelves as well, but we're going to measure that out later. We're just going to build the frames right now. There's my checklist. Everything we had to cut, everything we measured and cut. I like to have a list, that way I know exactly what's going on. And the next time you see these, they'll be up in the game room. Okay, so now that I have all the boards in the lengths that I want, what I'm doing is I'm making these lines. Now what these lines are going to be is on each point where they intersect, I'm going to drill a hole. And then in those holes, I'm going to use just a regular dowel, and that's going to be the pegs that hold the shelves on the shelves themselves. So all that really matters is I'm doing 5-inch shelves. So every 5 inches, it's one of these lines. These lines, okay, don't matter as much because you can put those 2 holes anywhere along this line and they'll match up with the next shelf as long as it's measured the same as this one. But I want everything to be uniform, so I'm going to have perfect, holes drilled into this every 5 inches down, 1.5 inches in. And when that's done, it'll look something like this shelf we've already completed. See how it's all nice and uniform and even? And then when we cut the shelves to fit on there, they'll fit right on top of the dowels that stick right through those. Now I know there are squares you can use that run along the side and then have, a perfect 90-degree angle. I don't have one, and I guess I could have picked one up at Lowe's, but I didn't, so this is just the way I'm doing it. There are probably a lot of easier ways to do what I'm doing, but I am not a carpenter, so this is all very basic, but I'm trying to do as perfect as I can. So okay, so I went back, I drilled extra holes. I wanted to have more options with the distance between my shelves. So as you can see, I kept my first 5-inch interval, and then I went 2.5 inches after that. So now any increment of 2.5 inches, I can have a shelf. And I figure that'll work better because so many games come in so many different sizes that I thought it would be best. So you can see where I've done that now. And working my way down, I've just started painting. Now this is a bonding primer. It's a nice strong primer. And the reason I'm using this is because I'm going to be using a high gloss paint. And when I use that high gloss paint, I don't want it to soak into the wood. So I'm using the primer for that. And then the high gloss paint will go on hopefully in 1 or 2 coats, nice and smooth, and it'll look fantastic. So here's what we're doing right here. We're not really, I don't think, too worried about paint going down the holes. That's how they're going to look when I'm done primering them. And I'm only doing the supporting beams, the ones that are in the middle, the ones on the sides and the middle ones there. And then the top and bottom I'm actually going to paint after I put them together because I want to paint over the screws. Let's see, I don't want screws, so what I'll do is I'll be hitting these after I do the shelves. So here you go. The next time you see these, they'll all be completely primered, and then they'll all be gloss black, and then I'll take some footage when I start to assemble them. This way I think they'll be a lot easier to paint.